Back in February of 2021, I was criticized on YouTube. Go look at our videos where I said things about Cathie Wood that I thought she wasn't very bright. Jim Cramer was saying how she's such a genius. More on that later. People were saying, you don't even have an ETF. She does. She's brilliant. At that time, her Ark ETF was $160 a share. It's currently in the $40 range, somewhere in the $40 to $50 range. Since then, she's eaten a lot of crow on a lot of companies that she invested in, falling 80, 90%. Her biggest call still is Tesla. Here's Cathie with her clown nose, because I think she's a clown. When you say this, and you don't look at where Tesla is today, you lack complete understanding of what drives the value of a business. Yes, she has a great career financially, but she lacks an understanding of what drives value. She had the audacity to criticize Michael Burry and say, this guy understands value, but he doesn't understand disruption. Meanwhile, when her stocks fell tremendously, she started to talk like a value investor. We're now in deep value territory. So wait a second. Why are you using the term value if value doesn't matter? It's all about disruption. What she doesn't realize is it's very, very possible, and it's very likely to overpay for a good thing. This has happened since the beginning of time. This is the best company out there. They make the best vehicles. Buy it. What they don't remember is that if enough people do that, you're overpaying then. The same people who sit there and say, Paul, you just don't get it. If I try to sell them a Ferrari for $10 million that was worth 150, they would tell me I'm crazy when I don't see a difference between that and buying Tesla at $1,000 a share. For $4,000 a share to happen on Tesla, she doesn't understand what the business needs to do in profit. That's the scary part. She's here managing money and she doesn't understand what it takes, what profit needs to happen. Not only that, she doesn't understand dilution. If you go look at her top 20 holdings, and here are some of her holdings right here. If you go look up all these holdings, I can guarantee you the number of shares outstanding have skyrocketed in the last 5 years. Let's start looking at some. Let's use our software. Tesla. So we're going to go to our software. We're going to type in Tesla. Tesla shares outstanding are up 25% in the last 5 years. We're going to do another one. Zoom, ZM. Zoom Communications. Their shares outstanding are up 25% as well. Next one, Roku. Roku shares outstanding are up 58%. And it goes on and on. What that means is, even if the companies get better and better and better, you're getting a smaller and smaller piece of the pie. Which, if they're up 300% and the shares are up 60%, what's the big deal? I do get that. But she completely ignores that fact along the way. She is no better than the high school or college kid who comes out thinking they know everything about stocks. I don't understand how this person does this. Mark my words. I've said this in many videos in the past. In the next few years, when all of her bets end up going terribly wrong, she will claim retirement because she's done everything she needs to do, and I've seen it happen before. And she'll make some excuse for why she's retiring. I'm at that age. I want to enjoy family time. I've made my money. I've made my dent in history. I've done a great job. It's going to be because she's forced out. Her picks are awful. She completely lacks an understanding of how business generates value and wealth for people. If she believes in Roku at 85, at 770 times profit and 200 times free cash flow, hey, make it 170. What's the big deal? Oh, by the way, she did buy it at 170. I think she had it much higher than 170. I think she was buying Roku at 250 and 260. So when I hear this and I hear people look at her immediate results and say that's a justification for her success, that's absolutely not true. Look at this chat community. We have thousands of people in here, and daily I get people messaging me, Paul, because of your advice, I've done X. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's only been a few months. I want to see many, many years of performance. I want to see many years of a process. So let me show you this chat because it's really important. Look at all the chats in here. All of these chats here, you can engage with people, including talking about crypto, talking about Tesla. In fact, watch this. If I want to type in Tesla, I hit enter. It takes me to the recent chats. Oh, look, I love what Tesla does. I just want longer and longer ranges out of the bat. We're just talking about the stocks. Thoughts on Tesla semis. All these questions about all these companies. This is the point of community. These people in this community would do a better job investing than Cathie Wood because they understand a process. They understand what it takes. Talk about Jim Cramer. In February of 2021, he called her brilliant, genius, all these other things. Just the other day, he said, I watched a video in which he said, this woman has no idea. I just don't understand her logic in buying these companies. The very same companies that when she was buying, when ARK was at 160, he is criticizing now. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Except for the fact of Jim Cramer is also a moron who doesn't understand how to buy companies. He was a day trader. He was a trader. He wasn't a value investor. He wasn't even an investor. He bought based on where he thought things were going on charts. Okay, more power to him. Love it. Stay in your lane, though. You don't understand business. Yet, I guarantee, if he had a business that was generating $10 million a year, he would try to sell it for some multiple of that. You've got to look at a stock and a business as different things. Over the long run, the stock will reflect how the business does fundamentally. But in the meantime, great company could be a crappy stock. In fact, most times it is. Why? Because if everybody loves the company, you have everybody and their kids buying that stock, driving the price up. Probably more than it should. Every bubble, as Warren Buffett says, starts on a very, very rational and smart comment. It's important to own a home. It's important to get an education. Two biggest bubbles in the last 20 years were what? Home prices and now student loans. The internet's going to be the future. Absolutely. Guess what happened? Massive bubble. And right now, crypto's the future. Electric vehicles are the future. Massive bubble. Absolutely massive bubble. Timestamp this video. 1:57 p.m. on August 16th, 2022. Absolutely guarantee we're going to look at this 5 years from now. People are going to say, how stupid was it that we gave Tesla's valuation and we believed these little digital currencies that could be started by everybody and anybody would actually have value? I will gladly be ridiculed 5 years from now for this one. So this makes sense to you. I want to explain. I'm Paul. I'm a value investor. I use quantitative aspects to weed out companies. I use the numbers to determine what companies to look further into to then decide which ones I want. But I do believe that everything basically has a price. And if something is a declining business, it's still worth something as long as the balance sheet is decent. And if a business is growing like crazy, there's still too much to pay for that at a certain point. It all depends on what your desired return is. That is what I do. If that makes sense to you, I'm asking for two favors. One, subscribe to our channel. Two, watch our next video on our 8-pillar process and how I use it to apply to companies to start screening them out. Thank you very much for your time.